You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's The Houstons on our own After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's The Houstons on our own After Show.
Yay.
Tara forgot already.
I did. I'm sorry.
Get it together.
Sorry.
So it looks like we are a brown girl down today.
We are.
What's up with that? I don't know. Anyways, Bing is for doing, and we are here doing The Houstons on our own. Season 1, episode 5 and 6. Holler.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. What's up? I never know which camera to look into, but I'm Marissa's saying this one. So I'm looking here. What's up, y'all? Or what it do, boos? It is your girl, Corrinne Williams, right here. And I am with...
Well, hello. This is Tara Johnson, and we are down one brown girl tonight.
One brown girl down.
Ashley couldn't be with us. We miss her very much. She should be back next week.
Yes. Or actually, we won't be here
that's
next
right.
week.
Well, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Happy early Thanksgiving.
That's right. That's right. Sorry.
I won't be going home, but just send me some turkey love.
That's true,
on
too.
my Twitter. Yeah,
Me
I'll be
too.
here. Are you going to be here too?
I am.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe we can have turkey fun together.
Maybe.
Yeah. I know. I'm kind of sad about it, but not really. Not enough to go buy a plane ticket. So, whatevs. Anywho, let's get on into the 2 episodes. Let's see. Cupcakes for Krissy.
Yes.
And what is it? Cabin in the Mountains.
Cabin in the Mountains.
Or it should be like...
Cabin fever.
Cabin fever, drama.
Something.
Don't want to be in the mountains.
That was it. That was
attitudes in the mountains. I mean, everything else but cabin in the mountains.
Yeah, that's true.
But those weren't real cabins. Those were like homes.
Those were luxury cabins.
Those were nice.
I've done a little, outdoorsy type of thing,
Yeah.
and it was nothing like that.
Nothing. I thought you were going to say the reverse. Like, oh, my family and I go there every year.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, sorry. That wasn't the case. No.
You're like, that party is over.
We rough it.
We rough it. Yeah, I said, well, one day when they realize that I'm a cousin or something.
Really?
Then
do you want that invite? Let me just ask that question.
I wouldn't mind it.
Okay.
It seems like they're living good.
That's true.
Right?
I'll just take the pictures. So a lot of drama goes on.
Hey, I'm just like a fly on the wall. I'll be there to eat, to sleep, and just to check out the scene.
That did look good. Those pan shots of that food.
Did you see Nick's pancakes?
No, I did not
Nick's
see that.
pancakes look so delicious.
Wow.
Anyways.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's a lot. So let's just start with Cupcakes for Krissy.
Yeah.
Episode number 5.
Right.
So it was the debut of her screening for the show. What was she on?
For Better
or Worse by Tyler Perry. Shouts out.
Right.
And she started filming shortly after her mother had passed.
Which I think I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. I think at one time they said it was good for her, but I don't know if I could have done that.
Shoulder shrug.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, everyone grieves differently.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry came through the opportunity. Maybe it was just time to take it, but that's a lot to swallow at that time.
That's heavy.
That is. That's a lot.
Yeah. She has more strength than I think that I actually give her credit for. Like, watching this episode, I was like, wow, she really did that. Because I think I knew that, but it was just knowledge that was lost or passed.
I had no idea.
And so I was just like, dang.
Right. And then to pull it off.
And to pull it off.
I didn't see the episode, but I haven't heard anything negative.
I saw the episode.
Did you?
Yeah.
And a shoulder shrug again?
This is just a blank stare.
Okay. All right. Well,
she got a paycheck.
And she did it.
Something I need right now. Holler, Tyler. Get your life. At just saying. Oh wait. Anyways, so Pat wants to have, or she hosted a really nice celebration for her acting debut,
Right.
and Krissy could have taken it or left it.
I know. The thing of it is, like, Pat continuously tries, and she's trying the family route. She really believes that just rallying the family together continuously, just over and over again, almost forcing this girl to come to things when she doesn't clearly want to. I mean, it was pretty clear from that telephone conversation that if she could have done anything
Honey,
to have gotten out of going to that dinner,
she would have.
she would have slid some money across the table. Anything to have gotten out of that dinner, she would have. But Pat is just of the belief that as long as the family continues to pull her, drag her along, show her, as they say it, that's going to snap her back where she needs to be.
But the confusing thing about it is, what are they really showing her? That's what I don't understand. Like, what are they showing her? Because clearly I know that she loves her family, that's apparent, but it's evident that right now is not the time that she really wants to be bothered by them.
Right.
You know?
And here's my time for my shoulder shrug.
Right.
You don't know? I don't know. I'm not really sure, because it's not as if the family gets together and anyone addresses anything. It's just they all give each other those looks.
Yeah, avoidance.
Or the conversation CeCe Winans and Pat Houston had in the kitchen, when they kind of passed each other.
Wasn't that something?
That really was something.
Which was, what did she said, CeCe Winans says, Bobby Chris is not being alert enough.
Alert.
Is she?
Right.
And then
it was, I know, we have to address that.
Yeah. And then CeCe says, that's a lot of work. Clearly.
It's a lot of work.
Hello.
But I think at the end, when CeCe said, I think the best thing that we can do is pray for her and show her and guide her.
I am tired of the prayers. I mean, come on.
Well, prayer does work, but I understand what you're saying.
It's time. Okay, let's put our faith into action. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can pray and pray and pray, but until you're actually like doing
yeah.
Shoulder shrug again.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is the shrugging hour.
I think this might be.
Because I'm just shoulder shrugging it up.
I mean, but I'll be very honest with you. I mean, I thought about this, especially after we'll talk later on in News and Gossip about a couple of interviews that have happened, and everyone's asking the same question: What do you do to address this issue? And at that time, I don't have the manual for this one. I really don't.
I don't think anybody does, and it's such a fine line and a very touchy subject, because no one wants to project that, she's doing X, Y, and Z,
right.
But one can only assume that she's doing X, Y, and Z,
right.
And we find out in the episode, what is it, 6, 7?
With the cabin?
Yeah, 7, cabin in the mountains,
right.
That wine,
that
she was drinking some wine,
right,
getting her drink on,
right.
with Nick. Some wine, some Merlot. It's like, I don't know if it was Merlot, but anyways. So yeah, I don't know. It's rough. It's rough to see, and it's rough to watch, because as a viewer, you only want the best for this young, impressionable girl.
Absolutely.
And then you also want the elders in her family to step up, but then at the same token, she still is an adult.
She is.
To a degree. Like, I don't know how much you think a 19-year-old is an adult, but she's still very much an adult.
She's an adult. And it's amazing. I was doing some research and looking out there, and there's tons of fan pages that have popped up on Facebook and Twitter. And there's a huge divide. Some of the fan pages are very supportive and only speak of the positive. Other fan pages are I'm not going to say negative, just not as supportive, and strictly just point out the negative. But no one has set out, this is what I think should be done. ABC 1, 2, 3. Everyone seems to be at a loss as to what to do.
Because it's so hard. And I think that no one wants to put something on her that she may or may not be doing.
Right.
So that's number one. Then the way in which her mother passed, I think, has a lot to do with the way in which people are thinking and are trying to address the situation or not address the situation. So, hey, it's a lot.
And speaking of addressing the situation,
bring it on.
The conversation that Ray and Gary had when he said, okay, look, I'm noticing things, you're noticing things, something needs to be said, something needs to be addressed. So there seems to be a part of the family that wants to hit this dead on and really call a spade a spade. There are other parts of the family that are just, well, we're just going to love and support and
blind eye,
walk around it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what team would you say you're on?
I'm probably on, I'm probably Team Gary.
Right.
I probably am.
Right.
Because I'm thinking of the situation like, oh, if this is my cousin or my sister and there's an issue, we're going to need to address it.
Right.
Now, how? I don't know. In my family, we're a little bit more blunt. We're more curt. Hey.
Right.
You got some shoes.
Right. We tap on the shoulder. No, in my family,
we
too.
got some shoes.
Right. I do. I'm Team Gary, too.
Yeah.
In my family, we hit it dead on.
Yeah.
It's at those family dinners, things can get a little heated because we call
it
spade a spade.
housewives,
yeah,
huh?
we just, well,
y'all flip tables.
Well,
no,
we're not like that. We're not like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something to see. But another thing, like as I was watching the episodes, I personally thought to myself, how unfortunate it is for us to have to see her going through this process of her grieving. And grieving is to me, it's a private thing.
It is a private thing.
And so to have us watching her go through this, and I'm like, who signed up for this? Like, was she really aware of everything that she would have to share? I don't know.
I don't know if anyone would really know. I mean, of course, going into it, I've never been on a reality show, so I don't know what it is to have numerous cameras following you around. I don't know, even when you start those type of things, I've heard from people say, like, change your life, you have no idea. And then eventually you get very comfortable. But going into it, how could you know? One, how could you know how you react?
Yeah.
And two, how can anyone foresee what their grieving process is going to be? I don't know. I do feel as if it's a little intrusive, and maybe sometimes I shouldn't be there.
Just a little bit.
Right.
Or I felt like maybe if the family wanted to do a reality show, maybe it should have just been like with Pat and Gary and Sissy and Rhea, their daughter, and maybe not Krissy.
Right. Well, I will say.
Not yet.
Well,
but to me, she is, like I said, stronger than what I thought.
Right.
Because when she was talking about her mother and how much she missed her, she didn't break down. She just was able to express it. And I just was like, dang. Like, if it was me, I would have been a hot boo-boo mess.
Right.
Like, just crying, snot, the ugly cry, all that jazz. So, I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, so Pat and Gary, the same conversation that Ray and Gary had.
Right.
What are your thoughts about that?
I don't know if, Gary was talking to Pat, and I think he thought he was, being very direct to her. I think she thought she was understanding what he was saying. I don't think either one of them really understood each other directly, to be honest with you. I thought it was a lot of, Houston code or something. I'm not really sure. But I just wanted someone to plainly say, call the girl's name. It was, our niece. It was, I don't know, it was some kind of code. And I think they both missed each other completely. I could be wrong.
I didn't think they missed each other. What I got from that convo was, and Gary said it when he was speaking to the cameras, when he said, Pat is the fixer. And so I want to talk to her because she's the one who needs to go in and essentially help Krissy.
And how do you feel about that? Because I think that's a huge responsibility to put on Pat solely too. And I'm not saying that she hasn't, this hasn't become her role in this family, because it seems like it definitely has. It seems everyone is comfortable with it. But that's a lot of pressure for one human being on this little earth.
I think that she likes it because she's a controlling person. I was going to call her control freak.
Right.
Blank stare, Pat.
Right.
Anyways, I was, but she's controlling. And I think that this is exactly what she did when Whitney was alive. Like, she drove the bus, and she just made sure that all ducks were in a row, basically.
That's true. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just think that's a lot for one person.
It is
to handle.
Look at her. Like, she's comfortable in that role. Even when she was in the kitchen with Rhea making cupcakes, Rhea's like, Mom, I mean, you try to control everything. You cannot control this because I got this.
True. And big ups to Rhea, because those cupcakes were cute. That was really cute for you.
They look dry.
But
Sorry,
that
Rhea.
was such a nice sentiment. On this side of this AfterBuzz team, that was
Tara's
such a nice
one.
sentiment.
They look dry.
For your cousin. That was really sweet.
If I bit one, it would get stuck right in my esophagus and possibly cut it.
It was totally about good luck,
Yeah.
Krissy. I got the point.
I mean, I read the cupcakes. They just look like they needed some moisture. That's all I'm saying, raw. Anywho, so Mita.
You know, I like Mita.
We saw another side of Mita.
I like Mita.
Mita got a little saucy.
You know, but I think Krissy says all the time, Mita's the one person, she's like a sister to me. I can tell her how I feel. I can tell what's going on to her. She revealed in the second episode last night that Mita's gone through the same thing. She's lost her mother. So this is the one
at
person
17. I almost shed one.
Right. This is the one person that she can talk to who understands as much as someone can understand what she's going through. And if that person comes to you and says, look, what's really going on, you might want to listen. I appreciate it, Mita.
And it was funny to see, and I guess this is a great segue, it was funny to see how when Mita got upset, how Nick responded.
It's that
he like hopped up like, well, let me go and see what's up with Krissy, because her attitude is like a flat tire right now.
Right. I'm trying to figure Nick out. Last week I was on Team Nick last week. I was trying to give him a couple.
You did.
I did.
You and Ashley.
True. I was saying gotta give him some credit. I see him stepping up. I think this is great. This week I'm not. He confused me this week.
Why?
I was left confused by his behavior this week.
I wasn't.
Because in the beginning, he was saying, Krissy, he was supporting Krissy. Your show's going to be great. You did a great job. He was all about the family function for her screening. When after she and Mita had the argument, he went outside and he was like, look, everyone's doing this for you and you just don't seem to be into it. Really, like, pull up.
Yeah.
Pull up for your family's behalf. And then in the second episode, when he was the ringleader on the we're not going to clean any dishes, after you had that whole table of food, I was just confused. So he confused you, Nick. You confused me.
You confused her, but you didn't confuse me because, hey, I would have been cleaning them dishes anyway. I'm just saying, come on, I'm an invited guest. And if Mother Earth wanted to clean the dishes, then if she wanted the dishes cleaned, then she should have cleaned them. I'm just saying, Tony, look at with your 3 braids. Anyways, so no, I'm just saying, Tara doesn't agree, but I'm just saying, I saw the episode and I was like, who is she and where did she come from? And I'm just not a fan of Mother Earth. But am I too far ahead? Like,
no.
Do I need to slow it down a little bit?
No.
We did not talk about, before we get out of this episode, Krissy sleeping during her viewing party.
Right. And that wasn't some, I'm tired, nodding type of thing. That was, I am possibly under the influence of a couple of things. That was serious nod.
That was like she was straight up narcoleptic real quick.
Right. That was really embarrassing to have the entire family there. But did you see the looks everyone shot at each other?
But they avoided it again.
No one said anything. It was just, I think Pat looked and like sucked her teeth. And Cece looked. No one said a word and everyone sat in there together. A perfect opportunity just to say, not to embarrass someone,
intervention.
But Krissy, what's going on? Nothing.
Wake up, girl.
Something.
I don't know.
Absolutely nothing.
Girl.
That's the part. Those are the things that kind of shock me.
Yeah.
Because I think this is such a real family.
Yeah.
But maybe their family dynamic is different than any and every other family I know, because it would have gone down differently. But I appreciate the family, and I love those family scenes of all of them together.
Yeah.
But it's just that type of interaction I don't get.
Well, isn't it interesting to paddle backing to the conversation that Gary and Pat had, or was it Ray and Gary, when he was saying how he used to abuse drugs too.
Right.
So I just found that to be really alarming.
Yeah, I did a little research.
Okay.
Back in 96, Gary was in North Carolina and was pulled over in Salem, North Carolina, I think it was. And he was charged with felonious possession of cocaine, having drug paraphernalia. He also was charged with actually resisting arrest. He was found with, I think, 5 rocks of crack cocaine. Now, what I will say is, I was able to find an article about the charges. I was not able to find anything about what he was actually convicted of, if the charges were dropped, reduced. I couldn't find anything like that. But he was charged at that time with those things.
Now that's juice. Tara, that's good juice.
Is that definition?
That
okay. I'm trying to redeem myself, I guess, from last week. But yes, I mean, so yeah. So it seems like he has a past. Again, he's someone who knows possibly,
signs, symptoms, what to look for,
what it looks like in the struggle to get from A to B and back to A again. So someone should listen to Gary.
Well, if Gary would be frank and
maybe
shoulder tap and be like, yo,
that might be true. That might be true.
Get your life. 100%. I'm just saying. So yeah, that was very interesting. But I don't know about you, but after I heard Gary say that, I was just like looking at him differently. Like, oh, I could see that.
Well, everybody has a past.
Maybe that was me judging.
Everyone has a past. But again, I will say nothing about what he was convicted of. This is just what he was charged with initially. And I looked for that because there's a big difference between what you get charged with and what you're convicted of. Couldn't find anything.
What name was he under? Houston or Garyland?
Houston.
Gary. Garyland. Anyways. Okay, let's just go into, I was going to say something else, but I forgot. So, oh yes. Do you want to kick off iTunes things?
As much all the information we give here, when you can watch everything after on YouTube and iTunes, please find us on iTunes. AfterBuzz has so many different programs. Find us on iTunes, download it, subscribe for free. Rate 5 stars. 5. This side is asking for 5 stars. 5 stars. Let us know your comments.
I'm asking for 5 too. I'm on the show too, girl. Dang.
Asking for your comments. Let us know what you like, what you dislike. If you send us a comment, we're definitely going to respond to you back. Let's start a dialogue about, the Houstons. And if you guys have some solutions, let us know what you think.
Holler. Let us know.
Yeah, 5 stars.
Subscribe for free. And those comments that you leave on YouTube, you can also leave the same comments on iTunes.
We read them all and we will get back to you. I promise.
We promise. Yeah, it's great. And thank you for everyone who has been commenting. I am bossy. You are my girl. You always set the record straight. I love it. Shouts out to you, boo. Love you. And I am following you now on Instagram too. Did you accept my request? It's just a question.
Look at
I don't know. Yeah. Well, she started following me, so I'm team follow back. So, okay. So before we move into the cabin in the mountains, one more thing that I wanted to bring up was the comment that Krissy made when Nick went out to confront her on the patio.
Right.
And he's like, yo, everybody's here for you. Why are you being like this? And she just starts going off. And she's saying, everyone's judging me the same way they judged my mom. And look what happened to her. She's dead.
I know.
That shook me. And I don't know if you saw Rhea's face, but she was just like, froze.
Right. Well, Rhea made the comment of, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to stay in a child's place and not get involved. That's a pretty strong statement, which also to me made me think, and this is, taking her statement, is that is maybe, and I think it was even in the news before when we were starting to hear about Whitney Houston's problems. Her family was doing intervention and that type of thing. Again, maybe that's the reason why Pat is of the impression that they need to try a different approach, because maybe the approach they took with Whitney, they didn't work.
Girl, I don't know.
I don't know. But that was a striking, strong statement.
That shook me to the core. I was like, oh my gosh.
That's a strong statement to make. And that comes from someplace.
Yeah.
That comes from a lot of places.
Because she knows, like, you can see, she can read.
Right.
She sees. She knows. Oh, that was really sad. That was
right.
Terribly. Anyways, so gosh, that just shook me. But anyways, so now we're introduced into Mother Earth, Tony Luck,
Reverend Dr. Tony Luck. She's a spiritual psychologist.
I am rolling my eyes. Anyways, she has like 5 braids. And so Pat calls her because essentially Tara's giving me a stake eye, y'all.
No, I'm just
I'm sorry. She did. But anyways, Pat calls her because she wants to do like a spiritual intervention for Krissy when they don't even know what the real problem is. So how are you really going to do an intervention when you don't know what the real problem is? The issues I had with this spiritual leader. Now, I don't know the relationship, but as a viewer, it looked like there was no relationship between Krissy and Mother Earth at all. It just seemed like that was Pat's friend. And so that was one. And I just kind of had an attitude about it because I'm coming from the perspective of who's this stranger trying to come into this whole family situation and boss everybody around. Just because one person listens to you doesn't mean everybody else needs to adhere to what you're saying just because you're the good Reverend Mother Organic Dr. Earth Vegan Dragon spiritual leader.
I don't know what relationship Reverend Dr. Luck has with everyone else, but I remember Pat saying that Dr. Luck was actually the minister that baptized Whitney Houston when she took her pilgrimage to Jordan.
Yeah, in the River of Jordan.
So I guess Whitney Houston had a relationship with her. I don't know about Bobby or Christina or Nick or anyone else because they did give her a certain amount of respect when she was telling the story about the gypsy moth.
Yeah, what the hell was that?
Which I will admit.
Did you understand that?
I did not understand it. I actually even tried to do a Google search to see if this was maybe a parable or something. I just didn't get it. I'm sorry, Reverend Dr. Luck. I tried. But that one, she lost me on that one too.
Girl, she just lost me with the 5 braids and those eyelash extensions. And then when she was smacking on that chicken, bossing everybody around. And why did she have an attitude that they went outside? Like, these were things that just annoyed me because I'm putting myself like in their position. Like, who are you? You're her friend, not mine.
Right.
You're not my granny.
I don't know. I have to disagree. Come on. I would have washed the dishes. I would have helped wash the dishes. I wouldn't have taken off running like an 8-year-old,
which was hilarious. And Krissy got caught because she was a little bit too slow.
Took off running. That I would not have done. I'm sorry.
But wasn't Krissy hilarious? Which I was shaking my head when she said she had arthritis. Krissy, now you know that one, right?
That she passed on to Nick. Nick has now left you, taken off running, and left you to fend for yourself, but you're still defending him.
Right.
I gave Nick arthritis too. She is down for her man. If nothing else.
She is down like Brandy wants to be down. I want to be down. Girl, all the way down. Girl, I said I cannot. Like, that had me rolling. I was like, okay, she's funny. She's hilarious. And crazy.
She did.
And then she came full circle with, I'm just sick, and I just really feel like I should wash them tomorrow.
Right.
I said, this girl.
Tomorrow?
It's a mess.
For a dish.
But the good Reverend Organic Doctor did have everybody in check.
Oh, absolutely.
She did. They were afraid of her, especially when Nick wanted to. And this is when I was just like, ooh, I don't know if I like her. Because Nick wanted to check on Krissy when she was ill upstairs.
True.
And she told him to sit down.
Yeah, that was
I didn't like that.
That was a bit much to me because that just seemed rude to Nick.
It was rude.
It just seemed rude to another human being for no reason whatsoever. Regardless what your opinion of Nick is and their relationship, he wants to check on her. She's not feeling well. I don't see the big deal. Even when Pat came down and was talking to Reverend Dr. Luck, didn't even give any credence to what he said at all. So it was just as if they just gave him a lot of shade. That I didn't. I was like, that's just a little disrespectful to anybody.
He is a human.
True.
And she's an outsider. That is, again, that's Pat's friend. That's Pat's spiritual organic advisor.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I maybe this was their attempt to try to do something.
Yeah, it didn't work because guess what?
Yeah,
she gets
got
rushed
sick.
off. She gets sick. She's hurling it up, which I didn't appreciate seeing or hearing that. I had to mute my TV because I don't want to hear that. I have reflexes.
But we needed to understand the magnitude of her illness.
It's not an illness. It was called wine. She was drinking wine, and then the good organic doctor went upstairs and said,
"We can't stop you from putting vodka on your Cheerios." That's what she said.
I said, "What does that taste like?" I like vodka.
But can you dispute that what she said to her was?
No, she hit her with the rail.
She hit her with the 1-2.
She did. It was a nice little combo. She really, really did. But I mean, wow. So we find out that she's sick just due to her drinking the wine.
Right.
And it was not Communion Sunday. It was like a random Tuesday. I'm just saying.
It's true.
Yeah. I need help, huh? Grandma, don't watch this. My grandma would be like, Corinne. Anyways, so yeah, I thought that was really, really interesting. Again, I wasn't a fan of the spiritual advisor being there, but we see that she will carry on into the next episode.
True.
And what I thought was so alarming was the mere fact that she was able to get a plane like this. She was in South Africa and she got there the next day.
I did think
to
about
Georgia.
That. I did think about that.
Get your life on out of here.
That South Africa is a 16-hour flight.
Right.
I've done that before. That takes some coordination.
I've never done it. The furthest I have been is to China. And that was a long ride.
It's a long ride. I can only imagine what
Get your
that
life.
will look like. I don't.
Yeah, whatever.
Don't know.
So I don't know. I just feel like she wants to be on TV to bat her lashes and to show her 4 braids.
Again, Reverend Dr. Luck. We will see what happens.
Anyways, do you want to go into your news and gossip, darling?
Yeah.
AFTERBUZZ TV News.
Well, news and gossip. Let's see if we can find something that you enjoy.
Okay.
Pat Houston did an interview with Access Hollywood and was completely asked about the engagement of Nick and Bobby Criss. And she said when the show initially started filming, Bobby Criss did think she was engaged. But as we will find out by watching the show, she said, you'll see what happens. Ooh. Things change. So with that relationship.
Does that mean Nick just becomes the brother?
Don't know, but she said as you will watch, you will find out. She actually asked her also, what do you think of what would Whitney Houston think of the relationship? Pat Houston said if Whitney was alive, there would be no relationship.
Get your life.
Because she simply believed they were just leaning on each other.
They was doing more than leaning.
They were just leaning
on each other. Some pelvic thrusts, honey. Some grinding sessions. Get your life.
And it also seems as if the controversy over Bobby Christina's inheritance settlement, at one time it was...
She won.
Cissy Houston and Pat were going to contest it, but it seems as if she's going to get the money originally as planned.
Well, but the thing about it is it wasn't horrible like how they had it set up.
Right.
Because at like 21 she will get
10.
Yeah, and then at 25 another, 20, then at 30
right. the whole thing.
And by that time she's mature, and I'm sure that Whitney was smart with her money, and I'm sure that Bobby took after her mother in that regard, which there are people around to help her count her cheese.
That's true. But I found it interesting that on the View interview, when Cissy, Pat, and Rhea Houston sat down with Barbara Walters and Sherry Shepherd, they claimed there is no $20 million. They said Whitney Houston was not broke, but it's not $20 million. So Barbara Walters said it's the truth somewhere in between, and they just left it alone.
Yeah, right.
Interesting.
Yeah, but see, after they did that interview, that's when the reports came out about them putting that lawsuit out.
That's true.
So, hey.
Try to get a copy of the lawsuit. Couldn't get that either. And it seems as if Hollywood is now reaching out to Bobby Christina. I read an article that Mariah Carey actually spoke to Bobby Christine. They were out at an event and pulled her to the side and said, I know you're not living your life right. Please get yourself together. But said it in a very supportive, loving way. It was a intense conversation. Both ended in tears, but it was really a supportive type of, we're behind you, we're backing you.
How Hollywood know a private conversation?
Just telling you.
Mariah, is you leaking stories?
Let me, I'll give you the URL. You can look it up. There you go.
Okay, well, that was good news and gossip.
Thanks.
That was good. I approve. Yay. Okay, predictions. What are they?
Yeah. I love the predictions.
Your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
That was long.
That was long. Like you said before, Reverend Dr. Luck is going to come back in. And I think this time she's going to have that conversation with Bobby Christina. Not sure how it's going to go, but I myself am quite interested to see what she's going to say.
My prediction is that her 4 cornrow braids that you saw will still be there next episode, and she will not have a synthetic hair weave or a wig. I want her to, though. Anyways, that is my time for now. Everybody, I am your girl. It's been a pleasure hosting you today with my other host here, Miss Tara.
Always.
Y'all can please be sure to go ahead on iTunes, subscribe and download, rate and comment, leave us messages, and continue to do what you do and support us here at AfterBuzz and on this show. You can follow me on Twitter at JustSaying08. Hit me up on Instagram at JustSaying1908. And guess what, guys?
What?
Follow my blog at justsaying08.com. Holler.
Follow that blog. I read some of it. It was great.
Good. Thank you. Oh, my God.
Tara Johnson, as always, it is fantastic to be here with you today. I've actually come up a level. I got some news that impressed Corrinne today.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
You can find me on Twitter at TJ Path to Passion. That's also my Instagram name. I don't have a blog, but if you hit me up on Twitter, we can start talking to each other. I'm happy to respond.
Your LinkedIn. Tell them your LinkedIn.
Oh, yes. Tara T. Johnson on LinkedIn. Absolutely. Send me messages. Send me requests. We can become connections. LinkedIn connections.
You can be connected. Holler.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.